Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the LoCreate Raleigh Podcast, where we talk to local creators in Raleigh and surrounding areas.
For our first episode, we chatted with Dahud Ghazaleh and James Leader from the band The Second Row, and they were awesome.
I'm actually part of the band too, but it was really cool talking to them and just learning about how the band came to be before I was in it.
Yeah, I learned a lot about the local music scene too.
We talked about the band, how they got started playing music, tires, playing a show at a gas station.
It was a really great time.
We hope you guys enjoy the conversation. I know we did.
Let's do it.
To get tires today, so
rip.
I went in and it was kind of busy, so it took like 2 hours.
Yeah,
so I was just stuck there.
Good lord,
Yeah.
man.
Wow.
Yikes.
But it's fine. I got back home at like 5. I'm like, it's fine. I'm not that late.
You said you're getting tires?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You want to get the door?
Oh yeah.
Did you get like super legit land sales like I did?
I think they're Falcon tires.
Oh, okay,
Which I
so
don't
you
think
got-
is what he said when we like went up to the
Really?
desk first. He said they were like Firestones, and then we got them like.
Those are definitely Falcon.
But
What
I
were
don't
wrong
know,
with
I
your
mean,
tires before?
one of them had a nail in it, and it was an error, and they were like 4 years old, and
Yeah.
kind of did a dry run.
Definitely
on the side.
dry
It's like
running, dude.
some cracking on the sidewall.
was
It's like
bad.
this is fine. These are safe to drive on. So
You gotta be safe when you're driving everybody to cookouts.
yeah.
Sometimes during our practices, we'll just like drive to cookout to get dinner.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
have the biggest car that everyone can pile into?
He's got a hatchback, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
they
think
sort of
so,
just
yeah.
like don't put the seats up and just all pile in the back. It's like,
Really?
this
That's
is
fun, though.
This
Good
is
memories.
safe.
Yeah. Definitely
Nice.
legit. We did that with all the equipment in there once.
Yeah. I don't know how you did that. You and Ezra plus
We
like
just-
3 guitars.
Yeah, it was.
Do you have any drums in there?
No.
Ezra had his
Not
drum
that
bag,
day.
but it didn't have like all the drums in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It just had like
It
a
just had the
pedal and
pedals.
stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Are you recording this right now?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
No, we're recording.
Oh, nice.
We're going. We're rolling.
How long have you been recording for?
Like since James walked
Oh,
out.
okay.
nice.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Not too long.
Cool.
Yeah, we did get like your phone going off on that or whatever that ding was. Yeah, no, we got to do this this podcast for a class.
Cool.
It's a communication media class, I think is what it's called, and we just got to do like different projects and stuff. And one of
Yeah.
them was a podcast that we got to work in groups with or like with a partner.
Nice.
So we figured like. I have a band. A lot of people do interviews on our podcast. So
Yeah.
like, we can do something similar. Just have some people come in and just have a conversation or something.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. It's kind of funny because, like, James introduced me to a music podcast just like a month ago.
Yeah.
And I just like binge listened to all of it, all
What
the
was it?
podcasts. Rock and Roll Refugees is what it's called. And it's
Okay,
just
I don't
like,
think I've heard of it.
yeah, they're very small. They actually
Yeah.
only had like 15 episodes or something, and then they stopped. But they're just guys talking about their old rock bands that they used to be in. And,
Nice.
like,
One of the guys was my old guitar teacher.
Yeah,
That's how I
exactly.
found
Yeah.
out about
Oh,
it. So,
awesome.
yeah, he
That's
moved back
awesome.
he lived in Michigan for a while, and then he came down here for a few years and
Uh-huh.
started a music school, and then he moved back to Michigan, so now he's back
Okay.
mhm.
up there. He started another music school there.
Nice.
So,
Is that how you learned to play?
yeah.
Oh, awesome. How long ago was that?
Well, I started when I was 9, and I took lessons for like 4 or 5 years, so that was kind of like middle school, a little bit of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I took piano lessons when I was in like middle school too. But I got bored of that quick. I took like 4 years.
Oh, yeah.
And I just taught myself how to play guitar because I was bored.
Oh, dang.
No, that's awesome. Like, I mean, because you should hear him play. Like, he's really good.
Wow.
Thanks.
You'd think that he just like taught himself completely. Like,
Well, most of like the stuff I know now, I kind of learned on my own, because
Right.
that like I learned like the basic kind of stuff, and we learned to play songs and things, but I didn't get like really that serious about it until probably like end of high school. I kind of took a couple years off after taking lessons, and then got back into it, and that's when I started learning stuff myself more, just from listening to songs and learning songs, and you know.
Has your like
Okay.
style of music evolved over the years, or like your playing?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's sort of like whatever I'm into at the time and whatever
Yeah.
I am physically able to play.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of stuff out there that when I started playing, I was like, I want to learn that song, and I tried and was like, I don't want to learn that song. I'm gonna do
That's,
something else.
Yeah.
Through the Fire and Flames for Dragon Force.
Yeah.
That's what it was for
Yeah.
me. Yeah. Like I would start playing it, and then like the better I got at playing guitar, the more I realized I could not play that song.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's kind of had a similar situation where it's like I really loved funk for a while, but then I realized I'm really bad at slap bass. I'm like, yeah, maybe not. Maybe I
didn't
won't
want
play
to tell
funk.
you when you were doing it. No, I'm just kidding.
That's funny.
Yeah.
How did you start then?
I started because my sister played guitar, and she was taking lessons for a while, and I really wanted to play with her, and so I decided to pick up bass. And so I kind of like hung around her music lessons and picked up as much as I could from there, and she had a private instructor that came over to our house every once in a while, so I would kind of like hop in on her music lesson and kind of crash the party and play bass, and eventually those music lessons just turned into like jam sessions or songwriting sessions where she would write music with the instructor and I would be there writing bass lines and stuff, so that's how I got started. Kind of like a little bit of a different start than most people. Most people start doing covers, but I kind of started, making
Jamming.
music with my sister like right away, which is really cool. So that was back when I was 10, and then we took lessons for like 2 years, and then from there I just kind of went on my own, did my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all ever get back together and jam?
Oh yeah, for sure. She's still writing, so she sends me what she's working on every once in a while, and I
That's cool.
do what I can. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to play with her.
Mm-hmm. Does she live here?
Yeah, she lives in Greenville,
Oh, okay.
so yeah, not too far.
Yeah. Wait, Greenville, North Carolina?
Yeah, North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's North Carolina. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys had the band like before I joined too.
Yeah,
I
that's
want to
right.
hear a little about that because I'm interested,
Yeah.
but I never really asked you. But when did I join the band though? Because
So-
I think it was like a week before Krispy Kreme or something. Like
Yeah, it was.
I remember just going into like that first rehearsal and you were like, "So are you cool playing with us?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then you say, "Because we got a gig like in a week."
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and I mean the band started a while ago, so it started back in high school. James and I, we knew that we played, but we didn't really play like with each other that much. We weren't like super into the kind of music that we play now. But I guess really the second row started back in English class when we were sitting senior year English class, and of course first day things, he goes around, all right, tell something about yourself. So I start off, hey, I'm Dahood, I play bass guitar, and then James is next, and he's like, I'm James and I play electric guitar. And then this guy sitting next to us, Ezra, he's like, oh yeah, I'm Ezra and I play drums. And our teacher's like, oh, you guys should form a band, or like we look at each other like, oh yeah, maybe that'd be a pretty good idea. And she's like, yeah, you guys should call yourselves the second row since you're sitting in the second row of my English class.
That's
awesome.
amazing.
So next thing you know,
That's perfect.
we're like, okay. So but we hadn't really decided to play with each other yet. We were just kind of like, oh yeah, that's cool. We all play instruments, but there's a bunch of
Before
people.
that point, like, did you guys know each other? Or did you? Know
Yeah,
who you
we'd
were?
actually known each other for a while. We weren't like super. Well, James and I had known each other for a long time, so we were great friends before. But like, I started to get to know Ezra a little bit more as well. And then like one day in the middle of the year in English class, James shows up. He's like,
Well, it's coming up to prom.
yeah, it's
You gotta
coming,
keep that in
yeah, it's
mind.
true. You gotta preface with that. It's coming to prom season. He's like, hey man, check this song out. And I'm like, oh, that's a pretty good song. It's a Jet song. I'm like, oh, it's a pretty good song. And he looks at me. He's like, that'd be a pretty good way to ask a girl out to prom, And I'm like, damn, dude. Okay, we got something going on here. We're like, okay. So there's this girl that I was interested in at the time. I'm like, all right, you know what? That's a good idea. And we turned to Ezra. Like, hey man, you wanna you wanna play this song? We're like, we start planning, and next thing you know, we decide we were practicing after school. It's "Are You Gonna Be My Girl" by Jet. And we're like, we're going to play in the courtyard right after school when everybody's walking to get out to go to the buses and go to their cars. We're just going to be jamming out right in the middle of the courtyard. So that's what we do. We practice a bunch before. And
Well, you say a bunch. I think
Okay,
we had
you're
the
right.
idea on Monday, and then we met Tuesday after school, and we were like, all right, let's do it tomorrow. So we said it's Wednesday now.
That's true. I mean, I guess the bunch I'm talking about is like the amount of hours that I put in, like after school, not doing homework, like making sure I had this song perfect. So yeah, that happened, and then we set up. Like, I get out of class early, my teacher's looking at me like, "What are you doing, man?" Like, I'm just like dragging drum set out of the band room, and we set up in the courtyard, and we do a sound check right before school is over, and we were like, play really freaking loud, like we turn it up way up, and people are running out of their classrooms to see what's going on, like before school's even over, and the teacher's like, "What the hell are you doing?" Oh man, but it was great. And then like we start jamming out, and I, like we text the girl to get over there, like to the courtyard, and we start jamming out before. And it's like she takes forever to get there, so we're jamming out for like 15 minutes before she shows up, and finally we play the song. And it was a pretty big hit. You know, it was a lot of fun. But then, you know, we had so much fun doing that. We're like, we should just keep playing. Let's just keep going.
Well, I think who was it? You knew Thomas, who was in another band, Madam.
That's right.
And I think they then asked us like, hey, we're playing a show in a couple months or whatever. You guys want to play?
Yeah.
So we're like, we don't really have a full band right now. We have like
Just the three of
guitar,
us.
bass, and drums. So then one of the guys from the other band filled in on another guitar, and we got someone in to sing. And that went great because we were practicing, and like 6 days before we were going to play, our other thing was like, yeah, I don't know if I can, all right, bye.
Literally.
Like, okay, cool. So we had to improvise on that. And so...
Yeah, no, I mean, it was really sucky because he left, like, really right before a show. And so we're like, all right, who's going to sing? And so, like, we were asking around, like, you know, can we get some singers? And we ended up, the guest guitarist who from Madam, he sang some stuff. And then James filled in for one of the songs as well. So we ended up, it was good. He was good, too. He was good.
Yeah, I want to hear you sing.
Heck yeah.
Probably at some point that will happen.
Definitely will happen.
Peer pressure.
But yeah, that was a fun show because like we kind of got invited by those guys since they just saw us, you know, do that whole courtyard trick. So but it was a pretty punk venue. A friend of a friend knew the owner of like a gas station.
Oh, wow.
So he played in like this picnic area of a gas station.
Nice.
It was hilarious.
Perfect.
But we invited a bunch of people. Like I was handing out like somebody had made these really cool flyers like that they had hand drawn. With all the band names and like the time and everything, and I was like handing them out at school, just like you know, giving them out to random people. You're like, you should show up.
Telling everybody to show up to this
exactly,
gas
to this gas station and like on a 7 p.m. and like on a Friday or something. It was, oh man, it was great. But you know, people actually showed up and we had a really good time. So that was like, I guess the real formation of the second row. But at that point, we still only had 3 members because all of the other members that we had gone through, you know, were either guest guitarists or, you know, singers who flaked out. I guess that was the start of our whole, you know, bad singer flake problems.
Yeah.
Because from there, you know, we kept playing. And then once we hit college, we're like, oh, we should keep playing, but we got to look for a singer. So we were practicing for a while. You want to tell how we had met?
Well, it wasn't actually that long because we kind of stopped over the summer. We
Yeah,
didn't really
that's
meet
true,
up. And then
yeah.
we got back kind of the beginning of the year and started meeting up. And so we practiced in the music center because now we had access to that.
Exactly.
So we're like, oh, that's pretty nice. So we started practicing that. And it was after our first practice. We went out and we were like drinking milkshakes or something outside.
Yeah.
And there was this table. I think there were like 3 girls at this table, and you knew one of them.
Yeah, that's
I think.
right, yeah.
Yeah. So they started kind of talking, and then we're like, "Oh yeah, we're in a band." We just kind of started like getting together, and we're looking for a singer and stuff. And then one of the girls there was like, "Oh hey, I want to sing." And she said like she played guitar a little bit and sang.
She
Was
sang
like,
for like the chorus at school. Yeah.
And so Dud was like, "Hey, do you want to sing for a band?" She was like, "All right, sure."
Yeah.
So we ended up not really meeting that much with her, like maybe once or twice.
Well, the thing is, the band met a bunch of times,
Yeah.
but she never showed up.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we had a whole set list going on. We were like, yeah, no, this is good. We learned a bunch of songs, and we're like, she's going to sing for us, you know? And then she just didn't.
Yeah.
And then one day she's like, yeah, I just really can't do this. Like, damn.
And about how long ago was all that?
That was,
I think that was after Christmas break.
Yeah,
when
after
they came
Christmas
back, then she
break.
was like, So
Yeah.
it was kind of like all of first semester, really.
But the thing is, I'm pretty sure we had already found the Krispy Kreme gig when she had said that she was gonna still sing, and so we had been counting on her. Like that's why we had the whole set list. We were practicing. Like, yeah, Krispy Kreme, we're gonna play some covers. It'll be good.
Yeah.
And then she dipped out, you know, like a week before
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme, and then you know. Next thing, I'm texting frantically in music group chats across NC State. And next thing you know, I meet Matthias, and he sings for us one practice. We're like, all right, you gonna sing for us at Krispy Kreme or what?
How was Krispy Kreme? Like, was that one of y'all's, or what have been y'all's like most favorite shows that you've done?
That's like it's been the only show we've done where we've all been together.
Okay,
Yeah.
with the current makeup.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
And
I don't know if
you
it's
can even
like-
call it like a real show. It was just
Yeah,
like
it's-
background music.
Yeah, there's a lot of people coming and going.
Yeah.
We had to turn down quite a few times too.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
playing pretty loud in the beginning.
Mhm.
And it was in a
Scary.
big, it was in the one of the ballrooms in Tally, so you know it was big and echoey and not the best place to have a show like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if it beats like the punk gig or playing out in your high school
I don't know.
courtyard.
That both of those were really good. I don't know. Krispy Kreme was fun. It was a good experience, to learn how to do covers and perform in front of somebody is kind of a good warm up. But I don't know if I'd call that a real show.
Yeah. No, we're definitely gearing up for our first real show.
Yeah, that's
in
gonna be
September.
legit.
Oh yeah.
We might play something before if we get some stuff together and we just want to kind of warm up with the music scene around town. But yeah, we're gonna be playing at SparkCon. I talked to the guys that lead the Music Spark section of it, and they said that they're gonna fit every band in. So
Oh, awesome.
yeah,
Nice.
so we're good to go.
Fantastic.
We'll probably be playing at one of the venues, like
Okay.
Emerge or something.
Oh,
but
even better.
Yeah,
Hell
it'll
yeah.
be great.
Yeah, really looking forward to that.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. Do you have any sort of like past gig experience with like other big? Because I know you played for that school, James.
Yeah, for at my old music school, every 6 months we'd have a concert. So
Yeah.
we'd learn 1 or 2 songs, and then we'd get together like one time for 30 minutes with the rest of the students, because we'd all learn it separately, and then we just kind of sort of practice, play through it a few times, be like, that's fine, and then we go and just like play for the parents and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, that was really good, because I played probably like maybe 10 of those or something.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's just sort of like 1 or 2 songs, but you get a lot of practice with actually playing live
Mhm.
and stuff. So
Yeah, I remember when I was in high school, I was starting to like slowly look for those opportunities too, where I could do that. And so then like different organizations would have like banquets or things like that where they wanted live music.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then I'd like sign up for the thing and just do like covers with my acoustic guitar in
Nice.
front of everybody.
Yeah.
But it took me a while to really like get into that.
Mm.
I remember one. It was a camp that I did like between my sophomore and junior year of high school. It was a boys' state of Kansas, and I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's like it's a week-long camp, I think, and it's like the entire thing is a simulation of like a campaign. Like I think it was like a governor's campaign, like for a governor's election campaign.
Okay.
And so like you have people that are assigned to like different parties and like third parties and like different, one person's assigned to be like the candidate for governor, and then and it's an entire simulation. It's really in depth. But anyway, they had a talent show at the end of it. And through like what I had been doing in the camp, I'd actually been working with the media, so that was really fun for me. But I met this other guy that played guitar and sang too. And we just wanted to do something for the talent show because we knew we'd have the opportunity to like play for about 500, 600 people.
Dang.
So yeah, so we just like the last night before the talent show, we just threw together a Green Day song. It was Good Riddance.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so I just learned it on guitar really quick, and then he sang it, and it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's like one of my best memories of playing in front of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really took me a while to start doing that.
Yeah. I was really fortunate to have a lot of like prior experience playing in front of people just because of my sister. She had like gone out and played at bars and things like that, and she'd invite me out to play with her. And so that was really nice too. And then throughout high school, I played a lot in front of people just because of like, through orchestra and through musicals and bands and different things like that.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. It's just, it's really, it makes a huge difference just having that experience of being in front of people, because it can be really nerve-wracking. So it does make a big difference. Just the more times you go out there, the more you learn. It really shows.
Yeah, definitely. You start getting more comfortable with like yourself too. And
Exactly.
singing or putting music out there, on your own. Because when you're playing in your room, like you think you sound right, but
Yeah.
like, when you start playing for other people, you start getting self-conscious, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you have any tips for people who are just trying to get into this, who like for building self-confidence?
I think the biggest thing I can say is just practice. Like, make sure you're really, really comfortable with the music and comfortable with your instrument.
Yeah.
Because that'll give you all the self-confidence you need. If you go up there and you know that you haven't spent enough hours, going over this kind of stuff, then
Yeah.
it's going to get to you. And then it's going to show whenever you can't play it properly.
Yeah,
So.
you're gonna start overthinking it, and you're
Yeah.
gonna start to choke.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if it just
Or you're
becomes
gonna
muscle
forget
memory.
something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I noticed in a lot of my concerts with my music school, I wouldn't really practice that much because I was like 12 or something like that. I was like, it's fine, I got this. And we went up there, and almost every time somebody would like go into the wrong section and be like, it's fine, and just kind of like frantically look around, like, oh no, and then like go into the next. We kind of like sorted out eventually, but yeah, there was a lot of like not really practicing enough before playing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's important. Also, it's important to know that you're probably not going to be very good when you start,
Yeah.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
You're going to mess up, but like nobody's gonna really care.
Yeah.
So.
Nah, I mean, a lot of people underestimate the amount of hours that it takes to actually play something well. Like, it's a ridiculous number of hours you have to dedicate to actually doing it. And it's not something like that you can just, it's not something like repetitive that whatever, you can kind of zone out while doing it. It's something you have to be fully engaged in to be able to really practice something properly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, when you start playing in front of people, you also want to put like a performance aspect into it, right?
that's true.
And like that's an entirely different part of something you have to think about when you're on stage.
Exactly.
So like you really have to practice enough to be able to get to the point where when you're playing music, it's muscle memory. Like it's got to be like you have to know it without thinking about it, you know?
Yeah.
It's got to get to that point. Like if you're thinking about it, you're going to be doing that, and then like you'll have a weird look on your face.
Yeah,
Like you'll just be standing there, and that's not fun for the audience, either, you know? So.
Yeah, you gotta get enough muscle memory so that way you can whip James's hair. James can whip his hair everywhere while playing.
It's luscious.
Yeah,
It's pretty luscious, actually.
it's super luscious.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's actually something interesting is, in my past experience with playing, the venues that I played at and the gigs that I played at, like I haven't actually had to worry too much about like performance aspect, just because I was either like in the background for like a school concert or, you know, supporting my sister with acoustic songs, which you don't really need to like move around that much. You can groove to, but you know, there's not that much aspect. But you know, SparkCon will be my first show. We're gonna be playing somewhere where you're there for the music and you're there to really put on a show. It's not just to play music.
Yeah.
So that'll be for me some new experience that I'm really excited about. But it's just a new aspect of thinking as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be something we're going to have to put more effort into as we get closer.
Yeah.
Like, as we keep practicing and we start getting our music sounding really good, we'll start having to work on that.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you with Jack,
Yeah.
like how did Jack come into the
Oh, right.
the band?
Yeah,
kinda
yeah, that's right. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was the one.
You guys didn't
I
mention
recruited him. He got in whenever we started playing in college, like later in college. I say later in college. Later in the
You're
first
like
year of
2
college.
months after start.
That's funny.
But yeah, I work with him. We worked together at the town of Cary. We were both doing government stuff in IT, and like I'd been talking about the band, and we were playing. He's like, yeah, I play some guitar as well. I've been really getting into it. I've been playing a lot of metal and things like that, and I've been I really am excited about this. I'm like, hey man, like we could use another guitar. You want to just come hang out with James and I and just see what we can do, jam out a little bit. And I was kind of like feeling it out to see where he was because I actually didn't know where he was musically. But we jammed out a couple of times. I'm like, yeah, this could work out. But I think the coolest thing about Jack though is that he came in and he was really a beginner. Like he had been playing only on his own, like only covers and things like that. And it was incredible to see how fast he progressed playing with us.
Wow.
Because it was just insane going him like not even knowing a proper scale or how to like jam out properly to now he can hold his own on a solo whenever we jam out and things like that and writing his own parts as well. It's really cool to see how quickly it was just like that.
Yeah, even in the short time that I've been in the band too, like I've seen Jack improve immensely.
Yeah.
And everyone really. Like I think also a big aspect of that is the fact that we've been playing together a lot.
That's true.
So we're improving a lot with each other too.
Yeah,
So that's really cool.
for sure.
Yeah.
So where, like, knowing, like, where you came from and seeing, like, how far y'all have come already, like, where do you think, what are your, like, goals as a band? Like, where do you want to see yourself in a few years or even, like, 10 years down the road if you're still together?
I mean,
Selling out stadiums.
I'd be cool with playing Red Rocks sometime.
Honestly.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
I think if we play,
start low.
Yeah. It's a long progress or process, I should say. The
Yeah.
progress is usually pretty slow. Like I look at the band, like the local bands around here that are really successful, and I see like, oh, what did they do to get to where they are, and how long did it take them? And a lot of them, it's just like a lot of time, a lot of gigging, and really getting yourself out there. But also, you have to make good music too.
Yeah, definitely.
So I see
There are
a
a lot of local
bands
bands that
Yeah.
have all that except that last part.
Exactly. I think that's a key, obviously. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I feel like it'd be really nice to play locally and open show, be like we got to start with opening, but like eventually be the main part of the show at like local venues. I don't know. I think it'd be super cool to play at Motorco. Because
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
James, Jack, and I, and Ezra as well, and we've been to a bunch of shows at Motorco together. and we saw some really, really cool stuff there. So it's like, I look over, every time I go over there, I'm just like, oh, I want to play here one day. I want to. So.
And that's that's something that's very achievable at this point. Too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like right down the road, and it's, it's part of our community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that we can do, and I would love to play there.
Oh yeah.
Play there, play the Lincoln Theater.
Yeah.
Play,
Oh man,
play
that'd
Kings
be insane.
and Neptunes. And
Yeah.
all those places.
So I guess that's the goal right now.
Yeah.
Put ourselves on those local venues.
Who are some of your favorite like local bands that you mentioned?
Oh man, the bands that we usually watched weren't local, but they were like smaller bands.
Yeah.
I think my favorite local band is Mega Colossus.
Okay.
They're like a adventure metal is what they call themselves, and they're a really, really cool band. It's older guys, but they're definitely local, and a lot of them have like jobs, like full-time jobs, and but they do that on the side, and you wouldn't even be able to tell that they do it on the side because they're really, really good. They put on one hell of a show, and they play around here a bunch. We saw them opening at Motorco for another band, but they play their own like big shows around as well. So I think they're my favorite.
Wow, that's
I'm gonna look them up.
Yeah, Mega Colossus.
Yeah. Not too long ago, I went to see 8-Bit Disaster for the first time, and they play funk rock, and it's a very jazzy funk rock with so like their whole shtick is like playing covers of or tributes to like video game music, and also like themes of other things. Like they played a Game of Thrones theme jam during their show. Like it was great, and they're really good. And just I think their platform that they have, that funk rock, really gives them the opportunity to get into their music and jam out so well. And like you can see it in their faces when they're playing a show. They're just really into it. They love that they're up on stage playing, everyone's smiling, and it's great. So it was a really good show. So I might say that they're probably my favorite local band right now, 8-Bit Disaster.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because also, like, with me, like, being in a band, you think I'm, like, really into music. I don't listen to music that much, which is kind of weird.
That's so true. I mean, I'm like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I don't really know a lot of, like, local bands, but that's something I really want to get into more and go to more local shows. It feels like we've been together with our current lineup for, like, 6 months now, which you think is a long time, but it really doesn't feel like it.
No.
Yeah.
So, you hear about all these big bands or something that take like 2 or 3 years to put albums out, and you're like, oh, it takes a long time. And then you start getting into it, and you're like, that's no time at all.
Yeah,
They're like
exactly.
cranking this stuff out to do it in 2 years. So.
Especially like when those big bands are like touring and between all the other stuff that they're doing. It's crazy. We're trying to do this when like we have school and studies and jobs and things like that. But
yeah, no, the last 6 months I felt like they just flew by.
Yeah.
Honestly. But I'm excited. I'm excited to keep going.
yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny when I first put this together, like brought James and Ezra back to play when starting in college. I'm like, this would be a cool side thing, something to relax on the weekends and things like that. I wasn't thinking anything of it, but then like as we started playing more and more, I'm like, you know what? I got to go all in on this. This is awesome. This is awesome. So now
seriously.
I'm fully invested. And that's how it's got to be with any band, really. You got to be fully invested because otherwise it'll be, a cool jam sesh here and there. But a band itself, it takes a lot of time.
It takes so much work and so much time. You
Yeah.
have to have everybody putting in their time.
It's true.
That's why it feels like 6 months is nothing, That's why it
Yeah.
takes 2 years to put out an album at the least.
Exactly.
2 years is a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is. It is.
Well, I think that lady was trying to kick us out earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, thank you so much for coming in, though.
Yeah,
I think
no,
that was awesome.
Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and I got to know a lot more about the band, which I'm really excited
Yeah.
about. So.
It's weird to say that we kind of have a little bit of a history now.
That's so metal, playing a show in your high school.
What a cool story.
Hey, as you guys heard earlier, the Second Row will be playing a show at SparkCon, an annual creativity festival located right here in downtown Raleigh on September 13th through 16th.
There isn't an exact date for their show just yet, but keep an eye on their social media for that info.
You can find them on Facebook.com/The Second Row Band, that's second with a 2, Twitter at The Second Row _band, and Instagram at The Second Row Band. Again, that's second with a 2.
The song that you heard at the beginning of the podcast is called Footprints in a Puddle. It's actually the band's first original song, and we're going to play another clip now, just in case you didn't catch it.
Thanks a lot for listening.
See ya!